All right, so we are going to, let's see if that makes it any better. I'm not sure. We're going to do this riddle, and we're going to work this one together, and then you're going to do the Santa's Pack Held 30 Toys on your own. So, we've got 5 men. They live in the same neighborhood side by side. They are each of a different nationality. They drink a different beverage. They eat a different type of candy. They own a different type of animal. Finally, all 5 of their houses are different colors. Given the following clues, determine which of the men owns fish as a pet. So who owns the fish riddle here? So we're going to read through it first just to get an idea, and then I'm going to show you some logic skills to work this out. So the Norwegian keeps dogs. The greenhouse is on the left of the white. The person who eats Hershey bars owns birds. The man who lives in the yellow house eats Kit Kats. The Dane lives in the first house. The man who eats Butterfingers lives next to the one with cats. The man who eats peanut butter cups drinks juice. The Swede lives in the red house. The German eats Red Hots. The Dane lives next to the man in the blue house. The Brit drinks tea, and the man who eats Butterfingers has a neighbor who drinks water. The greenhouse's owner drinks coffee. The man in the center house drinks milk, and the man with the horse lives next to the man who eats Kit Kats. All right, so in total, we have 15 sentences here, and you can number them down the side if you want to. We're going to kind of track which one is which with some clues. So this is my suggestion on how to start this. I'm going to start by drawing 5 houses. Now I'm just going to draw them as boxes. So we're just doing 5 boxes here. And we are going to also make 5 categories. So I'm going to leave some room so I can write what I learn along the way. But we've got nationality, we've got drinks, we've got candy, pets, and color of the houses. So what I'm going to do is start out with each sentence and see where we can put some stuff together. And I'm going to make a mark of what number it starts with. Like this will be the first sentence, so that it's easy for me to go back and figure out where did I get that information. All right, so the Norwegian keeps dogs. Well, Norwegian is a nationality, and he keeps dogs. And I'm going to mark that with a 1 on each one so I know where I got that one. The greenhouse is on the left of the white. Well, I'm going to keep that in mind, but I'm not going to put that because I don't know where to put that one except I've got 2 colors of houses. The person who eats Hershey bars owns birds. Well, Hershey bars is going to be here under candy. Now, I don't put it in that same line. I'm going to try to make it, so Hershey bars, I'm just going to write Hershey's, and they own birds. So this goes with number 3. That's the 3rd line in the riddle. The 4th one says the man who lives in the yellow house eats Kit Kats. Well, that's the color of the house is yellow, and it goes with the snack of Kit Kats. So that's number 4. It says the Dane lives in the first house. Oh, that one goes right up here. So there's the Dane, and I know that from number 5. So the Dane lives in the first house. The man who eats Butterfingers lives next to the one with cats. Well, it means he lives next door. So that one kind of goes in my category of the greenhouse one. So we're going to bypass that one for a minute. We'll come back and put those down. The man who eats peanut butter cups drinks juice. So that means if they have a snack of peanut butter cups, and I'm just going to put it PB cups, they drink juice. And that's line number 7. The Swede lives in the red house is the next line. So that'll be number 8. Swede, and he lives in the red house. So we're over here to our color. All right. The German eats red hots. That's number 9. So we've got the German. And he eats the red hots. Now you don't have to put the numbers. I'm only doing that in case you're like, where'd she say she read that one? It's the 9th line down. The Dane lives next to the man in the blue house. That means if this is where the Dane lives, this one is blue. And that is from number 10. All right, the next one says the Brit drinks tea. So the Brit drinks tea. So that would be line 11. Number 12 says the man who eats Butterfingers has a neighbor who drinks water. All right, we'll hang on to that one. The greenhouse's owner drinks coffee. So that tells me if they live in the greenhouse, they drink coffee. So that's number 13. The man in the center house drinks milk. Well, the center house then will have milk. And that would be from number 14. And then the 15th one, the man with the horse lives next to the man who eats Kit Kats. All right, so we're going to get to that also in just a second. So I've gotten everything except the ones that say, well, this one's next to that one. I'm going to go write those down. And I'm also going to add all of the ones that are options that we don't see listed already. We only see 4 of our nationalities. We actually have another nationality, and that would be the Dane, which we've already done. But that way you can make sure you have all 5. We have juice, tea, coffee. We know that there is milk, which we already have up there. And the other one that's mentioned in the riddle is water, because the man who eats Butterfingers has a neighbor who drinks water. So that's the other drink. We've got Hershey, Kit Kats, Peanut Butter Cups, and Red Hots. Butterfingers is also mentioned. And then we've got dogs, birds. There's also cats, the horse. And then remember, we're looking to see who is actually got the fish. And then we've got yellow, red, green. We know that house. We already have that one, but there is a blue one. And there's also mention of a white house in the riddle. All right, so now we've got some of those clues. There's a few other clues we're going to now make some notes about. Some that I skipped. We've got the greenhouse is on the left of the white. So I'm going to come over here, and in reference to number 2, I'm going to write green on left of white. The next line we didn't already write was number 6, and it was the man who eats Butterfingers lives next to one with cats. So I'm going to write Butterfingers is next to cats. We also held off on number 12, and number 12 is the man who eats Butterfingers has a neighbor who drinks water. So Butterfinger is next to the water as well. And then our last one is the number 15. The man with the horse lives next to the man who eats Kit Kats. So the horse is next to Kit Kats. All right, so we're going to use these as we figure out some of these other ones. All righty, so we've gotten our clues written down. And so we're going to see if we can figure out a little bit of our clues. So on number 2, it says that green has to be on the left of the white. Well, that means this first house cannot be green and it cannot be white. So it has to be green and then white. The green one cannot be here because we know that there's coffee and this one has milk. So green cannot be here, green cannot be here, green on the other side. So that tells me that this one here has to be green. I'm going to use the black color as I fill in. So that has to be green, which tells me that this has to be the White House. So I've now have 2 of my colors done, so we're good. And if you want, you can check off them on your list, understand what you have left. We have a yellow and a red left, so let's see. The red house has to be the Swede. Well, this already has the Dane, so it can't be red because it's already the Dane. So this one has to be the red house, and I can already write the Swede. Oh, and I forgot, the greenhouse had coffee, so I'm going to write coffee right here. So that tells me the only color left is going to be the yellow. And if it's the yellow house, I know that he eats Kit Kats. Now, I try to keep some semblance of order here. Notice I've got the name, I've got the colors up here, I put the nationality, then I'm putting the drink, then I'll put the snack, and then I will put the pet so that I can see across where I still have openings. All right. Now, from our clues earlier, we know that the horse lives next to the Kit Kats. So now I know from this clue number 15 that the horse lives next to the Kit Kats. There's only one side it can live on, so it's going to be, the horse will be with the blue house. All right, now let's see if we can figure out something more about the Dane and Swede. Since we already know a few things about them, let's see if we can figure something else out. We know that the Dane lives with the yellow, in the yellow house and the Kit Kats. We need to figure out what it drinks and what kind of pet. So let's see if we can figure out what the Dane drinks. So we already have milk and coffee off of there. There's juice. Well, he can't do juice because juice has to go with peanut butter cups. So he can't have the juice. He can't do the tea because he is not Brit. The coffee already went with the greenhouse. So there's milk and water. Well, milk went with the middle house, so that means he has to drink the water. That's the only choice left for the Dane, is to drink water. Now we know that the water down here lives next to the Butterfingers. So that tells me that the blue house has Butterfingers for a snack. So it has Butterfingers, all right. And then because the Butterfingers, now we have Butterfingers lives next to cats. Well, it could be on either side for a cat, so we can't figure out that clue yet, but we'll hang on to that one and see if we can do. All right, so we've got most of the Dane done. We don't know yet what animal He can't have cats. He can't have the horse. Let's see. Because the horse is there. Well, he could have the cats. The cats is another clue. So he can't have the dogs. Let's go with this. He can't have the dogs because that's the Norwegian. The birds go with Hershey bars, and he's got Kit Kats. He could have a cat. He can't have the horse because it's already done, or he could have the fish. So cat or fish, we don't know which one yet. All right, let's go over here to the Swede and see if we can figure out a little bit more. Because we have 3 things on the Swede. We know that he lives in the red house and he drinks milk. Let's see if we can figure out his snack. So if we go over to the snacks, well, he could do Hershey's. He can't do Kit Kats because that's already taken. He can't do peanut butter cups because he doesn't do juice, he has milk. He can't have the Red Hots because he's not German. He can't do the Butterfingers because that goes with the Blue House, so that tells me he has to have the Hershey bars. And that tells me if he's the Hershey's, he has the birds. All right, so the Swede house is done. The red one with the Swede is done. Now, let's go back for a second because we were looking at our pets. The birds are now gone. The Dane doesn't have dogs. He can't have the birds. He could have the cats. He can't have the horse. And he could have the fish. But what did we learn down here? Butterfingers are next to cats. Well, the Butterfingers can't have the cats on this side anymore because now we know the Swede has birds. So that tells us the cats have to be on this side. All right, so we've got all of this house done and all of this house done. So we're making some really good progress. So let's look at our blue house. We have 3 things on the blue house. We have the color, we have the snack, and we have the animal or the pet. So we need the nationality and we need a drink with that. All right, so let's go see if we can figure out the nationality. So it can't be the Norwegian because the Norwegian has dogs and Blue House has a horse. The Swede is already in the red house. It can't be German because the German does Red Hots and this one has Butterfingers. So we have the Brit and the Dane left. Well, it can't be the Dane because he's already in the yellow house, so we'd have the Brit with the T. So it has to be a Brit with T. So now we have 3 houses done. Now we're going to go over and do the ones that we have left. So notice we have 2 nationalities, but we only have 1 drink left. We've already used water, tea, milk, coffee. That only leaves the juice. So the White House has to have the juice, and if it has the juice, it has to do peanut butter cups. So it has juice with peanut butter cups. So we know that. Now, the only snack that's left of we've already used Hershey's, Kit Kats, peanut butter cups, and Butterfingers, is the Red Hots. So that's going to be greenhouse. That will be the Red Hots, and that goes with the German. So now we need a pet here. We need a nationality and a pet over here. Well, the only nationality that is left is going to be the Norwegian. And the Norwegian has dogs. So that tells me there's only 1 pet left, and that is the fish. So who has the fish? It is the German who lives in the greenhouse with the coffee and the Red Hots. So what you need to turn into me, showing your work would be a good thing, but you at least need to show me an answer with all of the things. You don't have to draw the houses. You can just show me that top part there so that I know who has what. And this is just a little bit of using some logic skills, putting in what you know. All right, now yours is going to be about Santa's pack held 30 toys. This is the one that you are going to do. And you're going to kind of do the same thing that I did. This one is actually listed. There's 24 lines, but some of them go together. So you know you have a total of 30 toys that are made by the Elfin Crew. Okay, so that doesn't, there's not 30 clues. A lot of them go together. None of them are made, have the same amount. So that's something that's going to be useful. They all had to have more than 2. Then you start getting names. Cher made 1 more toy than the elf who dressed in reds, but Cher made 1 less Christmas toy than the elf who made the sleds. So those, like 2 lines, make a clue. So be aware of that. So as you continue to read through here, this takes a little bit of logic. If you get stuck on it, you can message me on Remind, and I can give you some clues on it. But you're just going to kind of do the same thing that I did on the other part. I kind of started making a list of the clues, and I did colors, names, toys, and a number so that I could pull out the clues just like I did on the previous one. So that way I can kind of start to figure out what's going on. And then on the clues that we had on the one that we did, where I had the extra little things, I did the same thing on this one. I started making a list of the clues that don't fit necessarily into the categories, but give me some other hints. So you just got to work it, and if you have questions, let me know. And then once you get it done, submit it into your D2L folder.